And this is 36, the podcast. Podcast. 36, the podcast. And this is 36, the podcast.
What's up, Fairbanks? What's up, Fairbanks North Star Borough? My name is Tilden,
I'm Jeff.
And I'm Brandon.
and this is 36 the podcast. You know what? I'm not going to even introduce our next guest because this man needs no introduction. And it just so happens to be he was our first guest. And no other than Bobby Wilken, the owner of HooDoo Brewery. And he has graciously accepted our invite to come back for our 1-year anniversary of 36 the podcast. So February the 22nd of 2026 or 2025 is when we launched our first episode of the podcast. And so Bobby was kind enough to be our first guest, and he's the one who kicked it all off. And coming back to help us celebrate our 1-year anniversary, he agreed to come back again. So thank you, Bobby Wilken, for giving us a little bit of your time today. So we're going to try not to keep you too long.
Sounds good.
All right. So
My pleasure.
And so like I said before, this is our 1-year anniversary, and so I would like to take this time right here to thank these two individuals right here, both Jeff Ray, all right, and Brandon Waller, and these are my two additional hosts on 36 the podcast, and so without these two other guys, listening to my crazy ass ideas and agreeing to be on the podcast with me for the last year, none of this would have been possible. So, guys, thank you for sticking it out with me, because not a lot of podcasts last an entire year, and here we are a year later, and we're still growing strong. So, I want to thank you guys for being here.
Well, thank you too, Tilden, because if it weren't for you, none of this would have happened. You are the heart and soul of this, and I really appreciate it, and I have a lot of fun doing this.
Oh, yeah. And, I'm going to tell you what, though. So, going back to when we were in the talk phase of getting this podcast together, so the one thing that I did notice is that every so often on Fridays or whatever, there would be a reserve sign out here, right? And people were, like, reserve it for birthdays or get-togethers or just whatever, right? But there was always a reserve sign. So I was like, man, we need a cool place to take this podcast, right? Man, we need a cool place. So I'm gonna run it by Bobby, and so I don't know if you remember exactly what I asked you, but
vaguely.
I'm like, hey, Bobby, can we reserve this table for anything? And he goes, well, it depends on what it is. I'm like, well, we're thinking about doing a podcast at a brewery, and we want to reserve this table for a few hours. He's like, yeah. Make it happen. So thank you, sir, for allowing us to occupy this space every other Saturday to shoot our podcast. So I want to thank you as well.
You bet. Yep,
Yeah.
That's awesome that you're doing it, man.
Yeah,
That's
yes.
awesome.
And so, because without you giving us your blessing, of course, this would have never happened. So thank you once again. And guys, going back to why it's actually called 36 the podcast, when Bobby first got his license, right, breweries could only serve 36 ounces of beer. So we would sit around this table right here and just whoever, just good friends, tourists, strangers, we just have conversations while drinking 36 ounces of beer. And so that's where this all came from. All right. And so although you can still now you can drink more than 36 ounces of beer, but I would recommend it, especially if you're driving. Now, if you have a DD, go for it. But 36 ounces of beer is that's a pretty safe amount.
It's a good number. It's a good number.
Yeah, that's a good number. So, and so that's why we still continue to roll with 36 the podcast. So once again, Bobby, Jeff, Brandon, thank you guys for for all the support and stuff, and cheers to you guys. Now, but what we do have, though, is I want to give a few shout outs before we get into the meat and potatoes, as we do every Saturday. But let's switch to camera number 3. And so the Grazing Mama, I'm gonna put her Facebook contact page. I'm gonna put it in the description. So if you guys are in need of a charcuterie board, she graciously did our 1-year anniversary charcuterie board. As you can see here, it's got happy 1 year around it, and she's got a bunch of neat stuff that we're gonna devour. That we're gonna devour once we get into it. All right. And so once again, Grazing Mama, she's on Facebook. If you need a charcuterie board, I'm gonna put the link in the description. Let's move on to the next cam. Brandon, go ahead and tell us a little bit about what we're looking at here, please.
So this is my wife, bless her heart. She woke up at 6 a.m. to make this cake.
Yep.
It smelled delicious while she was cooking it. It is a Irish cream chocolate stout cake, and it's actually made with Bobby's stout, oatmeal stout.
Yep, oatmeal stout.
Yep, but it's also not just that, but it's the nitro stout.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
So, and then the frosting is also scratch homemade buttercream frosting with some Irish whiskey.
Yeah. Now,
Irish
so
coffee, sorry.
so she let me taste a little bit of the frosting, and that frosting, it's a buttercream frosting.
Yeah, and then she put some of the Irish coffee in it.
Yeah, that's a good. That's gonna be a good cake right there, sir.
I think it's gonna be great.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good cake right there. So I look forward to digging into that as well. And so you might not see this episode until I get it all edited and posted, hopefully by tomorrow or later on tonight. But if you happen to be in here, guys, more than welcome to. I'm gonna offer everybody who is in the tap room here an opportunity to, take a little piece of cake and enjoy some of this charcuterie board as well, too. So if you were in here, hopefully you get a chance to sample Eleanor's custom cake with the stout supplied by HooDoo Brewery. But on that note, as we do always, before we get into the meat potatoes, what we're going to do is we are going to do a taste test. And so this is a good one right here. And so the reason this is a good one is because normally when we do a taste test, Bobby is nowhere around. But today Bobby is here, and he's going to be able to provide us some insight as to what led to this particular creation right here. But today's stout, it's a stout condition on masala chai tea blend from Sipping Streams. And so what I'm also going to do as well is I am going to put the link to Sipping Streams in the description as well. So I encourage you to visit Sipping Streams, and especially if you're a tea lover. But what we're going to do now is, we're going to get into today's casks from Bobby and his mad scientist in the rear, along as well as some custom commentary today about this particular cask from Bobby Wilken himself. So here we go. Oh, okay. That tea hits me right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that tea hits me. Okay. Bobby. And okay. So what makes you? So how do you come up with your ideas for a cast?
Yeah, well, it's really a joint project between my wife Jessica and myself. So we have 5 of those actual cask containers, those firkins they're called.
Uh-huh.
And so the goal is to fill 5 of them at a time with generally beer that's in the 5 bright tanks behind us, the one right behind the bar. But we can pull beer out of kegs too to put in there. But it's generally, finished beer, and then just thinking of things that are, fruit or spice or chocolate or, really anything you can think of as kind of an infusion with that. So usually it's just if we have ideas as they pop into our head over time, we'll just kind of note those in kind of a shared note, and then when we get time to do it, we'll kind of decide on the casks. We don't repeat a lot. We have some that we repeat every once in a while just because they're kind of classics and we just love them.
Yeah.
And we've done over 600 casks now. We're a little over 600, so 600 Saturdays in a row. So
yeah.
12 years. So there's only so many possibilities. The early ones we logged into my paper notebook, and I have these notebooks, and so we don't really go back and look at those as far as what we did back then. But now we have it kind of in a digital form, probably the past few hundred, and we refer to that and say, okay, well, we did masala chai with vanilla porter a while back, and so then we generally will do tasting notes of how that was, how much tea we used,
Right.
How long it was in the casks, because some things, they really don't need any time. If we do cold brew coffee or something like that, it really doesn't need any time in the cask.
Yeah.
Overnight is great.
Oh, really?
Because we make the cold brew and put it in with the beer.
Okay.
And voila, So, but the things like tea and spices, they'll definitely develop over time and kind of enrich the beer over time. So that matters. So we kind of consider that, and then come up with a lineup of the next 4 or 5 casks. Go shopping. Jessica generally does all the prep work, any pureeing or chopping or kind of getting it ready to go into the cask.
Yeah.
And then I'll fill them with beer, put the ingredients in there, and we're done. So,
Okay.
So yeah, it's really just ideas, from kind of the culinary standpoint, what flavors would go good in a chocolatey beer. We've had pretty good luck, I would say, over the years. There's really only been one cask that I would say was undrinkable.
So which one was that?
Tell me more.
Yeah. It was a pale ale. The beer was great. But we had a customer drop off some spruce tips, and we've never made a spruce tip beer, but they can be very good. But it's a delicate thing. You have to pick the spruce tips right at the exact moment where they're nice and sweet and not piney.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, but they dropped off the spruce tips, and we said, let's do it. Let's just put it in the pale ale, make a little sprucey pale ale. How much should we use? I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's just throw that big bag in.
Yeah.
Sounds
Yeah.
good. Let's try it.
Yeah.
So then we did that, throw the bag in. It's Steve back there, and this is years ago, it's at least 5 years ago. And then we tapped it on Saturday, and you could smell this piney goodness.
Yeah.
And but then when you tasted it, it was like drinking pine sol, just like mop water.
Oh, wow.
So we're like, whoa, oh my gosh. So then we left it up there for a bit, and then we said, don't sell this. You can tell people you want to try it. It's quite piney, quite pine needly.
Yeah.
And so we left it up there for a bit, and people could try to try it as a novelty, but then generally people were just like, oh my god.
Yeah.
So then we just pulled it and dumped it. So
Okay. Now,
so 1 out of 610 isn't bad.
The Christmas tree tastes like.
Yeah.
Okay,
worse.
so I'm a tea drinker, so I drink tea every morning, religiously, and so I do pick up on all the aspects of a tea.
Mhm.
So I think you guys hit the mark on this one right here.
I think
Yeah.
it tastes great.
Oh yeah. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking I probably shouldn't drink an IPA before this. It does kind of get your palate a little bit, but
Yeah.
my initial thought was this tastes kind of like Kahlua.
Ooh.
But
Really?
yeah,
Okay.
just the smell, taste.
It does kind of taste like it. That's good.
Well,
Interesting.
coffee.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty good.
Yeah. Okay. Brandon, what you thinking?
Yeah, so I'm sorry. I'm not a huge stout fan. I
Mhm.
think everybody knows that. I'm an IPA guy. But right out the gate, the smell didn't even smell like a stout. It smelled like a tea.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
And then I took the first drink, and this is a stout that I could drink.
Yeah.
I really like it. It's really smooth. It's not too thick. You kind of get that tea flavor, and then it follows through with kind of a chocolatey flavor.
Mm-hmm. Definitely chocolatey.
Which might explain the Kahlua
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's very good. Very good.
Yeah.
Very nice. Okay, now so let's talk proportions real quick. And when you make a cask, how do you guys come up with your proportions? Because and so the reason I ask why is because I know you did there was one that you did think it was the peanut butter, but you really couldn't taste the peanut butter,
Yeah.
like initially, but it didn't linger on
Yeah, it was
like
very
this tea
very
is.
subtle, very subtle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a guessing game.
Okay.
And then we'll try and refer to what we've done before. We've done peanut butter before, and it's definitely had more flavor than that last one. So, the peanut butter we use is actually a powdered peanut butter that you can buy. So
Oh.
when they go through this process of powderizing the peanut butter, it removes 99.9% of the fat of the oils,
Yeah.
and that's why we can use it in beer. If you just put peanut butter in there, straight up peanut butter, the oils would ruin the foam completely, and you got to have at least some semblance of foam on beer, just
gotcha.
for your eyes.
Yeah.
So, anyways, this powdered peanut butter works great, but I'm not sure if it was a different brand we used because Jessica sourced it. I'm not sure if it was a different brand, but I believe we used the same as the last time we made it. We put the powder in a bag, which is what we normally put ingredients in, a bag that steeps in the beer like a tea bag. And I'm kind of thinking that maybe in that bag that peanut butter turned into a blob and maybe didn't have the surface area. It didn't disperse.
Okay.
And then have the surface area. So that one is a kind of a learning experience. I wonder why that peanut butter flavor didn't really come through, because it has in the past. So
Okay, so you don't know what it's gonna taste like until you guys tap it and pour it,
No,
right?
no.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
No.
I'll be damned.
yeah. So sometimes we'll do, if we're using like juice or something like that. Let's say we're using cherry juice in a stout or something, just straight up juice, then we can try different ratios, or cold brew or something like that.
Okay, gotcha.
We can try different ratios in just beer
Gotcha.
and then decide. But things like steeping spices and things, we could do some testing, but it's a little more fun just to go for it. We've definitely learned over the years that it tends to work out.
Yeah.
And like for peppers and habanero peppers, it can't be too spicy.
Yeah, is
If
that
it's-
like a
if it's-
guessing
if
game?
it's too spicy, then it's
Seeds,
it's
no
kind of fun.
seeds, like seeds, no seeds. How does that
Always
work?
seeds.
So always seeds.
Yeah, everything. We
Okay.
Just chop it up and throw it in. We've never had one that's too spicy. We've had some that are pretty spicy when we do jalapenos and habaneros, but
Yeah.
never so spicy. I mean, even if it was extremely, like, you could barely drink it, that'd be pretty fun.
Yeah.
So we're just like, just go for it.
Okay, all right. Hey, well, before we go any further and get into these questions, let's take a trip back down memory lane here. And darn it, okay, oops.
I had a question about the
Yeah, so we
cask.
got you in the HooDoo cam. So we got you in the HooDoo cam, but it's not centered. I should have actually centered it, but we'll work on that later. Okay, so take us around the horn here, and just give us your thoughts on each of those pictures.
Okay. Well, looks like the one right in the middle there is me tasting some beer out of the barrels. I think that's when we barrel aged some. I think that was the Belgian quad. When we're pulling beer out of barrels, which we barrel age beers every once in a while, but they sit in the barrels for a few months or a year or 2 years, and just when we pull the beer out of the barrels, we'll taste the beer that in each barrel, because they'll have different character. Each one will have different characters. So
Got you.
that's me hard at work, I guess, is what you'd call that.
All right,
So,
all right. And
Somebody's
now,
got to do it.
okay, so what about that one on the top right over there?
That looks like me and Paul. Me and Paul.
That was 2016.
2016.
Ooh wee.
Oktoberfest.
I was gonna say, it looks like a very younger.
Yeah,
Bobby
it
and Paul.
does.
Yeah.
It looks like you weren't even old enough to drink beer back then.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm like, why does he have a beer in his hand? That's illegal.
That little boy.
And okay, so the last one.
Yeah, that looks like obviously the front of HooDoo, but the it used to be there was no beer garden that first year, and that was just parking lot, and we would park the truck right there. So that's pretty funny.
Okay, now so when did the beer garden actually get built again?
This beer garden was 2017.
Okay.
Opened September of 2017. So that summer is when we built it.
Okay. All right. Good deal.
Yeah.
Good deal. All right. I think that's it, right? We're gonna get into the formal questions.
I wanted to take a step back to the cask.
Okay. All right. Go
Question
ahead.
for you, Bobby. You say that you guys experiment a lot. You do a lot of different things, and first off, sometimes you don't taste it, or a lot of times. So
a lot of times.
1 out of 600 is pretty dang good.
Pretty
if
good.
You don't taste it till
Yeah.
you tap it. But 2, do you guys ever take like ideas from your customers?
Yes, definitely take ideas from our customers all the time. You know, people have ideas, and people even will go out and they'll say, "Hey, I got a ton of blueberries this weekend. Do you want some?" And we're like, "Yes," and then we'll put them into the next cask, or things like that. So yeah, we definitely take ideas.
And do you have one that came from a customer that might be your favorite, if you can remember?
We do have done the last couple of years. One of our customers, Jeff, has brought in honeyberries that he gets, with permission, picks them down at the visitor center downtown. They have a big grove or bush or whatever you call it.
Okay.
So he picks all those. In the last 2 years, he's brought those in, and we'll do a cask with them. And that has turned out really, really good because those are they're fruity and they're not too sweet, and they're very earthy, a very interesting flavor. So that's been a good one like that. But that's all that really comes to mind. But we're definitely open to suggestions, and we write them down and try and do it. And yeah, and like you were saying, is we've had pretty good luck. And at worst, it is very experimental. So at worst, we just say, yeah, never mind, we don't have a cask today.
Okay, so I got a suggestion for you.
Okay.
Yes, I got a suggestion for you.
I need a pencil.
Okay, so that garlic beer, that garlic stout,
Yeah.
that right there would make a good burger pairing. Like, that would make a good burger pairing.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay, so where exactly did you guys come up with the idea to put garlic in the stout, though?
Well, a buddy of mine named I'm spacing on his name right now.
It's all good. I do it all the time.
I know. Anyways, he has a brewery in Moline, Wisconsin, or Moline, Illinois.
Yeah.
Tri-Cities. So they have a small brewery, a small production brewery, and they make a garlic stout every year.
Yep.
He's always been talking about it over the years, and he. I started talking about this cask program that we do, and I was like, man, we could probably do something like that. And he's like, oh yeah, we just roast the garlic, put it into the finished beer. And so then kind of got the amounts from him of the best way to do it. And when theirs comes out down at their brewery, it's really popular. He's like, oh yeah, it's great. So he finally mailed me a can, or I think 2 cans, from his brewery down there. And we tried it. It was fantastic. So that's when we did the cask a couple years ago. And it all came from him. So
Yeah. Because I'm thinking that would be a good pairing for a burger.
Coincidentally, I'm wearing the shirt from his roasted garlic stout here.
That's
It's
awesome.
Radical Effect Brewing.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, he's got the garlic and pretty cool.
Very nice. Very nice.
Not planned at all.
You get that? No, not planned at all. Wow, that's amazing.
All righty then. Okay, so
Rich is his name.
Rich.
Thanks, Rich. You're the best.
Okay. So we might include a link to Rich's spot too as well, because I'm pretty sure he does. Well, can you mail order beer?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Well,
Nope.
then if you guys are ever in the area, please be sure to check out his brewery.
Yeah, Rich came up here last summer for the first time, and just kind of a surprise trip and hung out for the weekend. It was really cool.
Yeah.
So
Very nice. Very nice. Okay, so let's get into the formal questions, shall we?
we shall. Let's do it.
Okay. So you are our first guest, and now you are our 32nd guest on our 1-year anniversary. Did you expect either of those things when we first sat down here?
To be honest, I would say no, just because it seems like a podcast or just something like this is something you could try and then realize it's a lot of work, and then maybe just do it a few times and then stop. Kind of like any habit you're trying to form or anything is you could do it a few times and then maybe you're like, well, not this weekend, and well, it's been a couple months, and well, forget about it.
Yeah.
So honestly, I mean, I wasn't thinking about it at the time, like, well, this won't last, or anything like that.
well, thank you for that.
But I would say that I'm pleasantly surprised that it just keeps going, and then I keep seeing that you got the spool reserved for Saturday for another interview, and it pops up on my podcast app that there's a new show, and it's pretty amazing, I think. So good on you. So,
yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Are you guys surprised? What are your thoughts?
You know what? Me personally, if these guys had not have continued on with me, I was gonna do it regardless because I'm in this thing, right? So I'm in it. But am I surprised that these two are still here? Yeah, I am. But
Really?
because because it's like I don't know because you're a hockey dad. And then Jeff is a single guy, and so some Saturdays he might not want to hang out at the brewery and take podcasts. But he's been here side by side. Well, I think there was a couple of times. I think that you went on vacation once.
Yeah, once. No,
Yes, that was it.
This is episode 32, but I've only been a part of about 25 of them.
Yeah, but it's all good though.
I think if we ran out of IPA, you might not see them. They might have to miss that week. So
No doubt.
Have you ever ran out of IPA?
I think we ran out of IPA in the early days.
Yeah.
Figuring it all out. Probably in the early the first year. I don't remember exactly, but I'm going to say yes.
Okay.
Briefly. But our goal was to always have Kolsch and IPA, and I know we ran out of Kolsch a couple times. Probably ran out of IPA a couple times, I'm sure. But then we just started building the production system around trying to make it so we never run out of those. And so
Your stout's pretty consistent.
yeah,
too.
stout the same way. It kind of we'll brewed that once. It was great, and brewed it again, and then it just kind of evolved into, well, it's great to have this great light beer, this great IPA, and then now we have this great dark beer. It's kind of try and keep those three. The stout occasionally runs out just briefly. We try and time it perfectly, but that's a challenge. But we try and have those. Those are pretty much the core beers that we try not to run out of. And Kolsch and IPA, well, if everybody's out of them in town, if the worst case scenario is everybody's out of them in town, the bars, the package stores selling cans, which we're trying not to let happen, but the last place we're gonna run out, we're gonna hoard it for ourselves here,
For sure.
if that happens. But yeah.
Oh, so we can't go to Brown Jug and buy a can of HooDoo.
You can't go to Brown Jug currently.
You
no.
can go to the garage.
Yeah, the garage.
Oh, okay.
There's about 6 or 7 other stores. The Gavora stores.
Okay.
The Hot Springs Gas.
Yeah.
Steve's Gas, and those.
Okay.
Thrifty Liquor. Yeah.
And you guys actually have one place down in Anchorage. If
Yeah,
I
we have.
remember correctly.
La Bodega has
Yes,
our
La
cans quite a
Bodega.
bit. Connect Country Liquor out in the valley, out in
Okay.
Wasilla, Palmer. They have it off and on, kind of whenever we can make it down there and bring cans down there. We bring it to those places, and a few other. We've been at Humpy's a few times.
Okay. All right.
And a few other kind of Anchorage locations. We don't focus on that too much, but anytime we kind of see a window where let's run some beer down, we'll try and do that.
Yeah.
Because we have a lot of fans in Anchorage, and we want to keep that, and it's fun to throw our beer around down there. People are happy to see us. So
Gotcha.
I just learned about what is it?
La Bodega.
La Bodega. I just
Yeah.
learned about them like 3 weeks ago that you guys were there.
Yeah, you went in there.
So I went in there like a month before, but I didn't know. Otherwise, I
okay.
would have looked for it because we travel down there for Parker's hockey all the time.
Yeah.
But then I was talking to somebody, and they're like, "Oh yeah, HooDoo has their beer there too." Like,
Yeah,
"Oh, okay."
yeah. We try and keep a good supply there. That's a great spot, great store.
It is. I like it a lot.
Pretty cool.
Like back when I first got my kegerator, I think I had it about 6-7 months at that point. They came in to get new kegs, and they're like, we're out of IPA. I'm like, what? And
In here?
in here,
Oh,
they're
yeah.
out- they're out of IPA kegs.
Yeah.
And like 5 minutes later, come back, hey, we found one.
Nice.
I don't know where they were hiding it, but
Yeah.
somehow they found like the last keg. of
That's
IPA.
good.
The beer god was on your side that day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have another building about a block away from us that we have cold storage over there. So maybe somebody ran over there and grabbed some backup IPA. So I'm glad you got it.
All right, so let's see. So, I've got to rephrase this. I hate the way the computer does. So back to our first episode. What's something about HooDoo or yourself that It's changed more than you expected.
Yeah, in the past year.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess I would say, a year ago we got the liquor license that lifted the 36 ounce limit.
Yeah.
So that we knew that would be a challenge and an opportunity, but a challenge for sure. So, I think that's changed just in the way that, we used to live by the 36, that number.
Yeah.
We used to live by that.
Yeah.
Talk about it all the time. And here's
Yeah.
how we're going to tell people that, mainly visitors, tourists. Here's how we're going to, tell that person that's, wow, this brewery's great. Can I have another beer? And go, no, you can't. Here's why. How to create that discussion. So
Yeah.
we just, everything we did revolved around 36 ounces and then the limitations of being creative with music and events and things like that. So a year ago when we did this podcast, that was really right after we got that beverage dispensary license that kind of lifts a lot of those restrictions.
Right.
We haven't changed a whole lot, and that's intentionally is because we don't want to change what HooDoo is, but it's really allowed us to think outside the box, and usually we have some fun idea and we're like, well, we can't do that. That would be entertainment, or that would be gaming, or that would how would we regulate that volume of alcohol, things like that. But it's really opened our eyes, and it actually was quite a challenge last summer of just how do we cut people off that shouldn't have more beer, because we don't want this place to turn into a bar. We want people to have some freedom to have another beer if they're able to, being responsible, etc. But we don't want we want it to be family friendly, and we don't want a bunch of drunk people hanging out. And so it's figuring out what is that level, and then how to enforce it kindly and in the HooDoo spirit and things like that. So I'd say that's probably a pretty good answer. Is just how we've grown with that new license, that opportunity of holding back, as far as not wanting to change what HooDoo is, and really thinking intentionally about how it can just accentuate what we do.
Gotcha.
Well, I would like to say that I'm very happy that you guys have done that, because I really like the way HooDoo is. And I know, like you said, you got the license and you're just trying to keep it normal. And I give you guys credit, because I think you've done an outstanding job.
Well, thank you.
So I really like this place. It really hasn't changed much since you got the license, except that I could maybe have another beer if I wanted to.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So kind of talking about what we were just talking about, how you've kept it HooDoo. HooDoo's become more than just a brewery. It's kind of like a community hub. A lot of people know it. A lot of people come here. A lot of friends hang out here. Friendships are made. Was that the intention originally, or did that just kind of naturally happen?
Not the intention originally. I would say in the kind of concept of how it was going to work, and then the planning of it all, it was very there wasn't a tight plan of what we were kind of going for. I think a lot of that just happened just based on what we created kind of organically through the beers we wanted to make, the kind of space we wanted to create, and the vibe. But it was very it was very unplanned. A lot of it. It was really we were just figuring it out as we went. We were focusing on the brewing equipment, the beers, figuring out what kind of beers we were going to have to start, and we just figured we're going to have a Kolsch, which we picked as kind of our light German beer, and then a American IPA, and then we'll kind of figure the rest out later. We'll just have other beers, but no real solid plan of how that was going to work. This space, when we designed the space, we made this big tap room, and it was much bigger than we initially had. Just a big wall kind of going across right here was the idea. We kind of the tap room would just be this front area, not this L portion, but the bathrooms are right back there. And if we did that, we'd have to either have a little hallway to the bathrooms or move the bathrooms, which is expensive. So we kind of jutted the whole tap room down there, with the tanks kind of coming out into the tap room. My favorite part about breweries is breweries where you're in the brewery. I mean, where you're walking around the brewery, and you just feel like you're in a brewery. You're not just in a room near a brewery or adjacent. But so then that's kind of how this layout happened. And then but when we started producing beer and opened, we were expecting to make beer and sell it around town, maybe into Anchorage, and then the tap room would just be a place where people might drop by and get a growler or something, and it wouldn't be busy by any means. It wouldn't be anything like it is right this moment. That wasn't really the goal at all. It was just really get a brewery opened, make beer, kind of live the dream of making your own beer and people enjoying it around town. And then we had this space that people wanted to pop in and have a beer, get a growler. And when we made it big, we were like, what are we going to do with all this space? And it was like, well, we could maybe do classes here or something like that, or kind of beer classes, or it could be an event space. But we kind of just figured it would be this big spacious area while we were back there busy making beer for all the bars and restaurants in town and beyond. So as far as like the vibe it's kind of turned into, I don't think you can really, and like what it means to friends and families and the community, etc. I mean, I'm just blown away by that every day, and I feel very grateful. But we didn't do any of that really intentionally. It just is what it is, and it's just what it became. Because I think if you tried to do that, it's a pretty tough thing to try to do.
Yeah.
Sure.
But if it just happens due to your kind of values and what your kind of care for your love for the community, your love for customers, and just the opportunity of being able to open a brewery, and just knowing that really putting everything I got, and by me I mean really we as a group, friends, family, associates, people with great advice, people really just helping make it happen, just all that energy that got put into it, and really with the attitude of not cutting any corners, just anything we can do to make it better, make the beer better, make the space better, make everything we do better, make the shirts better, make just everything.
Right.
Just have that attitude, I think, and just be consistent day by day, week by week, year by year, and just be genuine and consistent. That I think that's how that happens. But I don't know if it wasn't necessarily an intentional.
And I'm gonna put so I'm gonna add to that though. So, and then I'm just gonna be as blunt as I can possibly be. You make good beer. If your beer sucked, none of this would. No matter how good your t-shirts look, no matter how much space you have, no matter how awesome the beer garden is, if you produced a bad product, nobody would come. So this is a testament to you and your crew, your brewmeisters. So how many brewmeisters are there like for each brewery? Is there like one brewmeister and everybody else are just like associate brewmeisters, or how does that work?
Well, I will start to answer that question with it's pretty easy to make beer.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody can do it.
Yep.
You can homebrew and things like that. Which that's how I started doing it. But it's not easy to make great beer.
Right.
It really requires a lot of attention to detail. So anybody can do it, and if you go to a million breweries and the beer is good.
Yeah.
Beer is good, decent, whatever you want to call it. But to make great beer, it's just there's a lot more that goes into that. Just attention to detail, ingredients, processes, and things like that. There's a million variables. Everybody makes beer a little differently. Yeah. Or very differently. And it's really the attention to detail of the decisions you make and what you're going to do in that process to make the beer just this much better. Yeah. Even if you may not taste it, we're just going to make it that much better. And if we do that, times that by 1,000, it's going to be that much better. Yeah. So that's kind of our philosophy. We do anything we can, no matter what it is. We're going to make it that much better by giving it that one more day, or that little bit better quality grain, that little more time, etc. Is just to make it that much better. Yeah. But as far as like the hierarchy. Again, every brewery is different. You know, a lot of people have a brewmaster, or brewmeister.
Mhm.
Very probably German of you. But I call myself the head brewer. I wouldn't say I'm a brewmaster. That's kind of in Germany, that's kind of a term for, I don't know. I don't know if I'm at that level.
Yeah.
So I just I'm the head brewer.
You're a student.
Good enough for me.
Yeah.
I'm still a student.
You're still a student.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm still figuring it out.
Okay.
This is my most favorite IPA ever. I'm just saying, you're
too.
doing a pretty good job.
But then currently in the production staff, myself. Paul he doesn't brew a lot anymore. He manages our entire wholesale program out to all the bars and restaurants in town, and manages our other warehouse. We call that Live and Good. It's over on Live and Good Avenue.
Yeah.
So he manages that warehouse, all of our deliveries, line cleanings around town, and he's also he can fix anything, build anything. So he's our maintenance department too. So
Man, so I'm gonna tell you what though. So I don't know if you believe in God or whatever, and I'm just trying to get all religious with you, but like when God sent him into your life, like because you guys have been friends for a long time, and so he's still hanging around.
Oh yeah.
And so he's like your go-to guy.
Yeah.
So
He's
that's
the right-hand man.
Yeah, so that's awesome, man.
That's awesome. Yep.
That is awesome. So kudos to Paul.
But so let me finish. So Paul's a brewer. He brewed for a long time here. Doesn't really do it a whole lot anymore. But as needed, he's kind of backup as far as brewing production. He'll jump on the canning line. He'll brew if we need him. But so then we have Wes, who he's a brewing assistant in training. He's been here a little over a year. He's doing great. Yeah. It takes a lot of time. There's a lot of things going on here that. But he's at this level where he's really getting to know a lot of what we do. I mean, it really just takes so much time. Yeah. And then Sean has been here, I want to say 5 or 6 months, and he's learning. He's behind Wes. Yeah. He's still learning a lot, but becoming more valuable by the day. Yeah. Just because there's things we do all the time. Every week we'll keg some beer. That's pretty standard. You get that pretty quick. But then there's these things that we only do every few months or something like that. And so it takes time to get the repetition to actually learn these things. So anyways, so between Wes, Sean, and myself, we're kind of the main production staff with Paul on backup. So
gotcha. Okay. Gotcha. Okay, so so what does it mean to you that this space has hosted so many conversations, events, and now a whole podcast journey though?
I think it's just great, and like I said, not intentional, but that said, we're constantly trying to dial things in, make things better, and it's just a constant evolution. And so, we never get to the point where we're like, okay, now we just repeat that, we just do that again. But Jessica and I will be in here having a beer, and sometimes we're just like, I can't believe because we just see what's going on here. Yeah. And the vibe here sometimes, very often, is just like really awesome. Oh yeah. People laughing, everybody having a great time, and people that we can see and we know that actually genuinely love this place. They genuinely love the IPA. Yeah. They genuinely are just like, this has made a big difference in kind of people's lives. It's actually a big piece of people's lives, and there's we have the small business owner stresses, of course, and the chaos that is, but there are a lot of moments where we really are just like, count our blessings, and we feel that we're just like, I cannot believe this is happening. Yeah. I can't believe I'm here, and I can't believe this is like, we've done this. You know? So it's awesome. I mean, it's awesome.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And it really is what keeps us going forward, because it is very hard work. We have a great crew of people, of our employees, some, longtime employees that just give their heart and soul right there with us. And it's just like, we could not do it without them, because it's just too much to do on your own. So, but it really just drives us to it's so great, and so we don't want to F it up.
Yeah. So. Yeah, true.
Yeah.
All right, so
Can you swear on this podcast?
Of course you
Absolutely.
can.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, this is not a kid-friendly podcast, sir. I mean, there's kids running around, but they can't hear us though.
That's right.
well, it depends on who's yelling. No, I think after the first like minute or so, you can swear all you want on YouTube.
Yeah.
Right.
Perfect. All right.
Anyway,
Excellent.
so running a brewery here in interior Alaska, that's not exactly easy. What's the hardest lesson you've learned in the last year?
In the last year. Well, I think the sourcing of materials is a constant battle, and timing materials. It's not a very good answer, but just bringing in grain and hops and learning that whole system. It was a big struggle for a few years, but we're at a level of where a production level where if we, especially leading into these summer months, we're pretty much at full capacity. Where if we screw up that material order, that can really shake up our production schedule. Just because we're kind of brewing for the future. But I kind of would say it's really related to that license acquisition. Is we've always been very slow to think about changes and think about improvements, and really taking the time to really just say, oh, we should do this thing, and then it's like, well, let's just think about it for a while, and let's think about it for a day or a month or a year, and really like think about it. And just have it in your brain for a while, and really think about how that could help us or hurt us. And so I think this liquor license acquisition was a big, a new challenge for us to say, whoa, well, why don't we just have some Bloody Marys every Sunday? And it's like, oh, that'd be awesome. Let's do Bloody Marys on Sundays. And then it's like, well, do we really want to do that? And so we go through this thought of this idea, oh, Bloody Marys. And then we just go, let's just not right now, maybe someday. But being able to serve liquor or wine, we brought on a cider right away pretty much because that's a good addition, but nice catch.
Nice save.
Beautiful. Need another beer. You shouldn't be able to catch that. But yeah, I think that was a big challenge, and a real it really confirmed our ability to just not jump at opportunities, and just really think about if it's right for HooDoo and for our employees and for our customers. So yeah, I'll go with that.
Well, and kind of to add to that, like, you guys haven't changed a lot, at least like right here in the tap room, but you have been adding some things. I'll point out, I've been to a comedy show here, which was really a lot of fun. The trivias, I'm really bummed out. I missed the St. Patrick's Day one. I really wanted to be there. But you keep it real subtle when you do it. You keep the HooDoo vibe, the old school HooDoo. And I think you guys have been doing a bang up job on that. Yeah,
so I think it's been great, and we're just kind of we tried comedy. We said, okay, we'll do a few comedy shows. And just to learn it. The first one was really hard to figure out, as far as, how are we doing sound and light, and how are we selling tickets, and how are we doing that. Keenan at Pakalolo helped us out a bunch. He brings the comics up and kind of wines and dines them, or maybe not wine, but you know what I mean. He dines them,
Herbs them.
spices them up.
This is not kid friendly. You can say whatever you want.
He really helped us with. He's learned a lot in his time doing those comedy shows, so he helped us kind of figure all that out, borrow his stage and things, and then doing the trivia. We did one. I think it was in Oktoberfest last year.
Yes, that's the one I went to.
We did trivia, and that was great, super fun. And so we wanted to do it again. We never really got around to it. Because for me, it's like I have this phobia of becoming a bar, because we don't want HooDoo to be a bar.
Right.
So it's like trivia, it's kind of a bar-ish thing to do, so we kind of delayed and never did it. And then we're like, well, let's do one for St. Patrick's Day. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it for St. Patrick's Day. And then we were like, well, who should we get to do the trivia? It was like, this was a month before St. Patrick's Day, and we just said, why don't we just do it ourselves? And so Joe, he's our event coordinator. He kind of handles a lot of our inside and outside events. And he's like, well, I'll just try and get some questions together. So he and I worked together, just kind of putting together this trivia, doing it ourselves, just because then we can really hone in what's right for HooDoo and our customers and really make it this great thing. And then the first one's going to be difficult, and then the next one won't be quite as bad, and then we'll have this new skill and new addition to the HooDoo arsenal. And it was really, really fun the first time, and then doing it ourselves this time, it was great. So Joe and I were kind of on the mic, and it was awesome. It was really, really cool. So
That sounds great.
but trying not to overdo that. Trying not to do trivia every Thursday. I mean, maybe someday, maybe. I mean, I'm not saying that's out of the realm, but just really easing into it and just holding back and just saying that was really fun. Let's do it again sometime. You know.
And that falls back on kind of what I was saying. How you guys have been doing such a great job with keeping HooDoo.
Yeah.
Like, you have new things, but you're not overdoing it.
Yeah.
I think it's great.
Just trying new things out, but not change. We don't want to change it fundamentally just because it's just awesome, and it just seems like an anomaly, and it's just like we're very lucky to have what we have, and we don't need more. We're just trying to have a little fun doing things. We're perfectly content, but hey, let's have a comedy night. Let's have a few of those.
Yep.
That's really fun. So
Nice. Very nice.
So was there ever a moment in the last year that made you stop and think, yeah, this is why we do this?
I mean, it happens all the time.
Sure.
We'll get messages on Facebook, or the best is when people will come up to me or one of my staff that I'll hear that they'll just say something that is really like from the bottom of their hearts, and they're just like, or somebody, and I can't think of a specific example, but sometimes you're just like, wow, I mean, it took a lot for you to ask for the owner, and I was in the back, and I came up, and you told me this thing. You're like, oh, I've traveled all over. That brings to mind a guy that he's come up here for work a few times. They visit breweries wherever they go. He travels, works, and he's been to breweries everywhere. And he said, I came here the first time about a year ago, and this is my favorite brewery. And I just got another assignment to be up here for another week. And he was like, I just love this place, and I just had to tell you that. And that's just so cool, because as you know, there's a million breweries, and I love traveling and going to breweries too. And for somebody to just have this one out in the middle of nowhere in Fairbanks become like something special to them, that's really, really amazing. Yeah. And it really makes you kind of step back, and really, the small business stress of that I deal with, which I'm okay with, but really just being able to hear that from someone and just, getting a compliment is great, but really getting a genuine, someone really just validating what you do, and this is essentially my life's work, so someone validating that is, it's amazing.
You're the reason why I do breweries now, right?
Yeah.
Like this was my first brewery I ever went to, and now I try to visit every brewery everywhere I go. If I'm in Seattle or I was in Little Rock, Arkansas, and I was like, I got to hit every single brewery within like 10 miles of me, and there was a lot there, surprisingly. But yeah, no, it's almost like a hobby of mine now. I really like going to different breweries because of you.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
well,
that's awesome.
You and HooDoo.
Yeah. And I hear all the time, which is a great recurring thing, is you've ruined breweries for me, or you've ruined IPAs for me. I hear that all the time, and I just heard it from a couple of our staff members. They say it all the time too. They're
relatively
relatively new crew, and they're just like, oh yeah.
Have you ever won an
Dang
award
it.
for this?
Yeah,
For the IPA?
yeah, we got a gold in the Alaska Beer Awards last year for American IPA. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
But we don't. I honestly don't. We don't enter a lot of competitions.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah, I'm just not really driven by that. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But I'm just, they're like, oh, the deadline's coming up for competitions nationwide and then in the state and things like that. I don't know. Sometimes we enter, but I'm just not. The deadline comes and I'm like, I don't really care. So good or bad, I don't know why, but just it just never goes to the top of my priorities. So
Gotcha. All right. Okay. So Fairbanks has a unique business community, right? So how was that sense of we're all in this together shaped HooDoo's success?
Well, I think Fairbanks is a very unique place, as we all know. The businesses around Fairbanks really are working together, I think, it's, there's competition everywhere, but it's it's just different here.
Yeah.
I've never owned a business anywhere else or anything like that, but I just imagine it being different places.
Yeah.
A little bit more cutthroat, and just the breweries here in town. Black 65, Black Spruce. I almost said Black 65.
yeah.
New
Yeah, we knew what you were talking
new
about.
joint venture.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys want to start a brewery?
No doubt. No doubt. We got a name.
And Humble Roots, Black Spruce, and just as they've opened and just the kind of community we have with the groups of breweries and our all of our employees.
Yeah.
We were at Last 65 last night, and I bumped into a couple of the Last 65 employees that they handed me a beer, and the vice versa just happened a couple hours before that. They came here for a beer before they headed off to work. So that's just great, and I think it is really that Fairbanks attitude. We're kind of in this isolated place, and I guess we're in competition, but it's very
Well, it's a friendly competition.
It's very friendly competition,
because
and
everybody knows that there's enough to go around.
Yep.
And so, I'm gonna tell you what though. So the one thing that has stood out to me. So I've seen it personally on 2 different accounts. I think at one point last year I walked into Black Spruce, and it was you, Zeb, and the owners of Black Spruce, and you guys were all sitting down in Black Spruce just having a beer and conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And then on a second occasion, before Ken was up and 100% running down in Delta Junction, he used to have Last 65 brew his beer for him, right?
Right.
So I'm like, that's that's awesome that everybody can depend on each other in order, whether it's helping somebody brew a batch of beer or just going to each other's place and patronizing and sitting down and showing that there's unity within the brewing community. I mean, so when I saw you guys there, I was like, this is a beautiful moment right here.
Yeah. And when we're brewing a beer and we realize, we don't have a bag of this crystal malt or something like that, we know that we can just send a text. Hey, does anybody have this? I forgot to order it. 'Cause if I order it right now, it'll be here in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
But I'm brewing tomorrow or something like that, and we all know that we can just contact each other. If we're low on a cleaning chemicals, we all use similar cleaning stuff to clean the tanks, I'm sure. And that's happened too. Is like, hey, I'm a little low on this. My drum of cleaning chemicals doesn't get here until next week. Can I borrow 5 gallons? Yep, no problem. So we do that. It's awesome. Because I don't know what the alternative is, but it probably sucks.
No doubt.
So you guys call each other, you don't call each other. You're competitors, but you're really more of a family.
Yeah, for sure.
All of them.
I think for sure. We're all in the same boat. It's like any small business. It's a tough business. We're all doing things similar enough. And I think we do realize that we all have a lot of the same customers. A lot of our customers. Some people only go to HooDoo, and some people only go to Black Spruce but I think those are very few, honestly. A lot of people will kind of patronize them all, which makes it really fun. And I think people really they would catch on if we didn't like each other.
True.
Which then everybody kind of loses.
True.
So it's a healthy competition. It's awesome. So.
I have my favorites, but I still visit them all. So
You got it.
Yeah.
It's pretty common to see people working here wearing the competitor's shirt. Vice versa.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
I remember a couple years ago reading like a article in the paper where you were like trying to think of a way for you and the other brewers to just kind of like go in on shipping purchases to just for shipping cost up there, which is to try it because your suppliers are pretty much all the same, and just get them all up at the same time. Did that work out or
no? That never worked out, and we're actually talking about it again. Like we just haven't gone past this. How does that exactly work? You're always thinking of ideas. Just as in small business, you're just kind of trying to figure out, like, God, I can't believe how much I just paid to ship that up here. If we shipped more, we'd be able to pay less, but we can't store more, but they want some too, and maybe we'll put that together, and then it's, at some point you got to kind of put in the work of, like, how would that exactly work, and what is the cost savings worth the, is the juice worth the squeeze, as my dad would say.
Yeah.
Just trying to figure out all the details like that, and so that hasn't happened, but we just started talking about it again, so one of these days it might happen. But just working together to just not waste money.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
I think
That's awesome.
That kind of leads into this next question. What's something people don't see behind the scenes of owning a brewery that would surprise them?
Behind the scenes of owning a brewery, it's I think it's all the businessy stuff and the planning. There's a lot on the back end of any small business that no one ever sees. Just the insurance and just financial management and getting those, figuring out even just things like shipping and getting materials up here. These are kind of major projects that constantly happen, and no one really sees that. Production planning. Next week we're brewing Kolsch and IPA, and then we're going to brew our Solstice release, 2149. So obviously the Solstice one won't come out till mid-June or late June, and that tank of Kolsch, we'll be drinking that in a month or so, and the same with the IPA, sometime in April probably. But the planning of the days we're going to brew, what we're going to brew, and then making sure we have all the materials here ready to brew. That's kind of this major ongoing project, because you're forecasting the future. You're forecasting how much people are going to drink over time, and then saying, okay, well, this beer is going to run. We're going to run out of the New England IPA at this point, so we're going to try and time it where this other beer comes on, is ready to go by that day, and you're never going to be right. So you're trying to refine how you do that all the time, and then trying to brew those beers ahead of time. In the summer, it becomes a big challenge, because we're maxed out capacity wise, because we're very busy here, and all of our accounts around town are very busy. So we're just producing beer really as fast as we can. So it really becomes a challenge there, is really trying to, if we didn't have the raw materials to brew this week, we could just bump that brew to next week. Not too big of a deal.
Right.
But once we get into kind of really April, May, June, and on until about October, then if we don't have something here for that brew or that process, and it's really hard to move that a week, because now that tank is sitting there empty for a week, and there's already some other things already behind it that are supposed to happen in the future. So it becomes really challenging to make sure we don't run out of things. Make sure we're, of course, the highest quality, because we're not gonna shortcut anything. We're not gonna shortcut time. That's
who is that person that keeps you on track to make sure that doesn't happen? So who is that person?
His name is Bobby. That's Bobby.
Okay. Yeah. I was sort of thinking that, but okay, so that lies on you.
That's all me. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good deal.
Yeah.
So you guys, this isn't this question, but just follow up on that. You guys are only open 6 days a week, but you're working 7.
Yep. Yeah, working
7 days a week for sure.
Yeah, Mondays are a big day for us. We initially weren't open Sunday, Monday.
Right, I remember that.
And really opening the brewery, I was very when we opened I have two boys, 2 sons, Wave and Everett, and Wave is just about to turn 16, but he was a year and a half when we opened the brewery, and I was, we were adamant about, small business owners, your business you can work 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
And maybe it is 40 hours a day. I don't know. You can really work all the time if you kind of let it.
Mm-hmm.
So I was very cautious about that. And so at the beginning, I was like, we're going to be closed Sunday, Mondays. I'm going to take 2 days off, and that'll be just for my family. Just so we force that to happen, and then we can regroup and et cetera. Eventually it got to the point where, and for a couple of years, you know, it was really Sundays and Mondays. Those were our time to keep finishing projects and making improvements around here. But also taking that time off. Eventually it turned into, you know, Sundays, no one would even be at the brewery, no employees, no anybody. And it would just be sitting here empty. And then we were like, well, we should just open on Sundays because people want us to be open on Sundays. So we did that. So then, you know, Mondays is always on the chopping block of like, well, should we just be open on Mondays? And maybe someday we will, but no plans to do it. That's kind of our just reset day.
Yeah.
That's a day where, you know, this space is just ours. We have meetings out here.
Yeah.
We do most of our beer kegging on Mondays. We replenish kind of supply, empty tanks, clean tanks, which we don't like to do when customers are here because they're right in the tap room. And so cleaning tanks, doing maintenance projects, and just kind of preparing for the week. So Mondays are our big day of kind of production preparation. And then just it divides the week. It's just like Mondays, it kind of all stops for just a minute, which is really valuable. So, like I said, someday Monday could happen, but we rarely even talk about it because it's kind of sacred to us. So.
As much as I would love
everybody
to
needs
come
to
have a beer on Monday, I would say you guys need to keep it the way it is.
I think there's a lot of things that are, it's not tangible what the benefit is. Yeah. But having that Monday break, that break in the week, our week is Tuesday through Sunday. That's how we always refer to it. Having that break, like we just go, can you imagine being open 7 days a week? And we can't imagine it. Yeah. It's just like it would just be this never ending. And I'm sure it's great.
It wouldn't be fun anymore. I'm thinking.
It wouldn't be fun anymore.
Point. Yeah. Once it's not fun anymore, you're like,
Exactly.
Exactly.
But you guys also use Mondays for like team stuff. Team building, I see you guys you're going out to the lakes,
so we do
the river,
holiday parties or whatever we're doing.
Yeah.
We try to get together with the all of our staff once a month and do something. So we'll we'll go canoe in the summer, canoe down the Chena. We'll go throw axes, or we'll just head over to Black Spruce and have a beer or whatever. So that's our day that we all are available that evening to just get together and do something. We really it's very valuable.
So I got this question, but I'm just going to give you a heads up. It's going to be a two-part question because I got a follow-up question.
Okay.
So you've supported local creatives, nonprofits, musicians, and podcasters like us. Why is that important to you personally?
I guess it's really just supporting kind of the community. One thing I never envisioned in the early pre-brewery and then in the early days was the kind of donations, supporting the community, supporting events, supporting things. I never registered that you do those sort of things as a business owner. But that's been a great thing that I really enjoy. We get to support nonprofits and causes that mean something to us. And that's really great. The artists we have, we don't do First Fridays. And in the beginning, people were like, "You're not doing First Fridays," and we were just like, "Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. No, we're not doing them. I don't know." It was really not really that. We're not doing First Fridays. It wasn't like a thing. It was just like we just didn't have time to put it together. Honestly, we were deer in the headlights when we opened. So we never kind of got around to it. And then, but then we do our Maibach and Oktoberfest artists. Those are our main kind of commissioned artwork events.
Yeah.
And those are really, really, really great, and they're really meaningful to us because it's only twice a year, and we work with the artists to come up with these great pieces of art and kind of turn those into a beer can, a hoodie, and all this fun stuff.
Yeah.
And it really is just another part of kind of the, I would say, art form of having a brewery and a tap room. Is kind of, you have your canvas of the beers, you have your kind of your merchandise and your seating and all the decorations and it's all a big kind of art project, I guess. So so I think those two events that we have that we work with those two artists is another example of just like it's just part of this piece of the art of the whole thing. And the same with the events and nonprofits we support. Yeah, same thing. It's just kind of part of this quilt.
Gotcha.
Quilt
Got it.
of art quilt.
Gotcha.
art
Gotcha.
Okay, so
Is that part one?
That
was part one. Unless you got more to say.
No, that's it.
Yeah. So
Art quilt.
I mean, before you had your license, you were kind of starting to get into some events like the Cousin Curtis
Yeah.
concert, which was absolutely amazing. I don't know if you guys got to go to that. It was really fun.
Oh, wait. Which one?
The Cousin Curtis.
Oh, yeah. So I've
Yeah.
been 2 years in a row.
Yeah, I've
Yes.
been to 3 of them now.
Yeah, it's a good
Yeah.
one.
And now that you have the license, it's a lot easier.
Mhm.
Do you have any summer events coming up that you might be able to cue us in on during this podcast?
We do. We just confirmed another After Hours with Cousin Curtis
Nice.
in August. So that's going to happen again. That's going to be really awesome. Yeah, we've looked at kind of changing that up a little bit, maybe with a new artist or something, but it's just such a great time. And hasn't been performing at Chicken Stock, so he's not really coming up here. So, because he usually is at Chicken Stock, has been historically. But anyways, so we're doing that again. It looks like, I don't know if I'm supposed to spill the beans, but we'll just go for it. In late May, the Fairbanks Ladies of Wrestling, they do a bunch of events around town.
Yeah.
So they're going to do a wrestling match here at the brewery.
Oh, nice.
So
Oh,
we're
that'd
gonna
be fun.
cordon off the whole parking lot, build a wrestling ring in the middle of the parking lot, and have a whole event
Yeah.
of this wrestling match.
I'm going to make sure I am there. That's
Yeah, it's going to be really awesome. So
Yeah.
I'm super excited about it. I know tickets are going to go on sale in April, so we're just kind of putting together how it's all going to work. We just kind of finalized that it's going to happen. That's going to be really exciting.
Yeah, sounds fun.
There's probably something else. I'll let you know.
You don't have to give it all away
Yeah.
now. That was good. I got something.
We're
out of
gonna
you.
do a beer garden down at the Midnight Sun Fest again. We did that last year for the first time,
Oh, yeah.
and so we had on Third Avenue there. We
Yeah, I
had
was there.
Kind of a
Yeah,
beer
Yeah,
garden.
yeah, that was a good spot, too.
Awesome.
That
It
was
was
a good
awesome.
spot.
So we're gonna make that even better this year, and we're really excited about that.
Yeah.
We're doing the HooDoo Night at the Gold Panners, which we do every year.
Yep.
So we've got that all scheduled, and we're making some awesome improvements to that. So that's I think 15th of June. Anyways, right in the middle of June, right before
Yeah.
solstice.
Yeah.
So it's going to be busy. I know, as we know, it's all coming. The snow's going to go away, and it's going to get real busy. So
Hopefully sooner than later.
Yeah,
I know.
no doubt, man.
I feel like
this may-
feeling pretty good outside.
It is.
This is me a
It looks
rough
nice
night
out there.
I think there'll be a lot of flooding this year. I
I
don't
think
know.
there's going to be some flooding.
Yeah, no doubt. A lot of snow to get rid of. Okay, so we're on to question number 10. However, I'm thinking we need to take a little break because Jeff needs to be refilled. I need to be refilled. Brandon needs to be refilled. And I don't know, Bobby needs to be refilled too. So we're going to take a little break. We've got 5 more questions left for our formal portion. And I think we're going to wrap it up after that. But we will be right back. All right, welcome back, Fairbanks, North Star Borough. We're going to get into these last few questions. Excuse us. We're grazing on this grazing board, courtesy of Grazing Mama. I'm going to put her link on the descriptions, as well as a few more other bits of information that we've talked about during our podcast with Mr. Bobby Wilken. So be on the lookout for those right there. And so before we go any further, of course, you guys know, if you're watching this, you know that you can catch us on YouTube, right? But if you want to listen to us on your way to work, we're on all your usual suspects. We're on Spotify, we're on Apple, we're on Pandora. There's a few more that we're on too, but I'll list those as well on the links. Mr. Bobby,
Yes.
where can we find you guys on social medias?
On the social medias, Instagram, Facebook, HooDooBrew.com is our website.
Okay,
That's
okay.
about it, yeah.
Okay, so what I will do
We got a
is
YouTube channel with one one little mini documentary on it that
yeah.
we had come out a few years ago. It's really awesome. But
Okay.
Anyways, that's about it.
Okay. All right. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to post links to everything that we mentioned in the description for this episode right here. So please be sure to check those out. And once again, I want to give a shout out to Eleanor, Brandon's wife, for the awesome cake. We're going to actually light this thing up here pretty soon. And I don't know if we're going to sing happy birthday to ourselves, but we'll let Bobby blow out the 1-year anniversary candle for us at the conclusion of the show. But on to the next question. So if HooDoo could only be known for one thing besides great beer, what would you want that legacy to be?
I think just being known as a just a community hub, just being known as a great spot to go and just be with your friends and your family and just genuine. Genuine, just a genuine just space. Like, I love that.
So the last time we were the first time we interviewed you, it was audio, and so we didn't move to video until a few months later into the year. So now, as you guys can see, we are video, right? And we are also still audio as well. But the one thing that I emphasize, and now you can actually see what I'm talking about, but the one thing that I emphasized in talking to you last year was it was because of this table that we're probably sitting here having this conversation right now, because when I first got here in 2018, I used to sit over there in the corner by myself, and so I used to see all the people sitting around the table, right? And so one day I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go up and I'm just gonna ask if I could sit at this table. And so it was Steve, it was Mr. Steve, and I said, hey sir, can I sit at the table with you guys? He goes, man, this is a community table, you're welcome to sit here anytime you want. And from that point forward, I started coming to HooDoo and sitting at this table. And so it's because of this table right here, I've met some of the most interesting people, and I want to say in the world, because not only locals come here, I've met some interesting tourists that pass through here, and and we all sit around this table right here, and we just have interesting conversations, And so I really want to thank you for providing an atmosphere that is conducive to promoting, conversation amongst strangers. And so that's what this particular table right here does.
And that's really why really my favorite part about just beer and the social aspect is kind of the German beer garden is really just a comfortable space to just hang out and just talk. And one of the regulations, the laws with the 36-ounce rule is no TVs, and that was like, well, that's fine, we're not going to have TVs anyways. And we now can have TVs, but we're not going to, because exactly what you're saying is like, that's just not what we do.
Right.
It's not why we're doing it. So.
Exactly. So going back to the whole German thing, right? And so I remember my first time in Germany, and so coming from America, when you sit at a table, it's like, okay, it's myself, it's my wife, it's my daughter, and we're sitting at this table, right? But there's a couple other chairs, but this is our table. Well, in Germany, guess what? A total stranger will come up and take their seat next to you and eat their meal, drink a beer, and they may talk to you, they may not talk to you, but they are like right next to you, because it's that type of communal, thing that they got going on over there, right? So I remember going to McDonald's, my first time going to McDonald's in Nuremberg, Germany.
We're talking about beer halls?
Well, I'm talking about McDonald's.
Well, I know, but
you could drink, but McDonald's sells beer. So I had a beer and a Big Mac in McDonald's, and the guy right next to me sat down with his German Shepherd in McDonald's, and I'm drinking beer, eating a Big Mac, sitting next to a damn German Shepherd.
America needs to change some things. I want beer at McDonald's.
I'm like, it was wild, bro. It was like, now, so the whole beer thing didn't really catch me, but the German Shepherd thing, it's like, There's a damn dog sitting in McDonald's with me. What the? Never mind.
Hey, no, you can swear on this. Remember, we've already established that.
What the fuck?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so next question.
All right. So, what's one risk you took with HooDoo when you felt terrifying at the time but paid off?
Well, back to the 36 ounce rule. When we were talking about building this space, so people could come in here and have a couple pints of beer, and we wanted to have 16 ounce pints, not 12 ounce. So they could have 16 ounce pints and then a little 4 ounce, right? So that was the idea, and so it was building this space so people could do that. It doesn't seem very risky now, but back then there was essentially nobody doing that in Alaska, and we were the first ones to really lean into that and say, this is our menu. It come in, have two pints of beer and a little splash more, and then we're not going to let you have any more. So when we were planning that and we building it, then a lot of people would just say, well, how are you gonna regulate people's, like, you're gonna count how many pints people have and things like that. A little bit of naysayers saying, well, that's not possible. You can't just count everybody's beers.
Oh yeah, they were counting my beers.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No,
Yeah, they were good too.
Yeah, we figured it out.
Yeah, they were good.
Yeah.
I was like, damn.
Yeah. You tried, but it
I
didn't work.
tried. Ah.
Yeah. So and then the law for breweries is currently closing at 9 or stopping service at 9. But back then, for the first decade we were open, it was 8 o'clock. So that was a big risk too. Is that when we were telling people that, oh yeah, we'll be open until 8 o'clock and 36 ounce limit, and a lot of people were like, so you're gonna close at 8? Like, who's drinking beer before 8? So really that caused second guessing, and which is really why we kind of leaned into, I think we're gonna just sell beer out to the bars, and people will come here after work for a beer real quick and et cetera. But I think that was a risk of that we took to kind of pave that way of just saying, yeah, this is possible. You can just have a tap room with your beer that closes at 8, and limited the amount of ounces. We took what the cards we were dealt, and we just made it happen. We're like, we're gonna do it. It's gonna work in some way. And yeah, I think that was a risk, just because we hadn't been to a place in Alaska that was actually really doing that yet.
Yeah.
So we weren't able to walk into a place and go, yeah, this works, we can do this.
Yeah.
We kind of just had to imagine, like, I don't know, I think it's going to work. If not, we'll just be basically a wholesale brewery, and have this little event space, So
Yeah.
that was definitely a gamble and a risk. So
Yeah, good deal.
I give you and your crew a lot of credit, because you guys did an outstanding job when you did have to kind of watch all your patrons or whatever. I've been to breweries where they give you a punch card.
Yeah, punch.
And you have to have a punch card to get your beer.
Yeah.
And then just punch it and say, oh, you've hit your limit. No, everybody here, in all the years I've been coming here, have been very good about, like, well, this is your second, right?
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and I think that probably has a lot to do with you and how you kind of planned and wanted to do this.
Well, it was kind of, back in the day when this place is becoming very busy, especially in the summer. I mean, just line out the door for hours and hours, and just and we were like, how are we going to do this? And it was really just, I don't know how we're going to do it, but we have to figure it out. We have to do this because we can't put our license in jeopardy. So if we make a mistake and we overserve people, then over the 36 ounce limit, then potentially they can say, okay, well, your license is suspended. You need to stop all business, which was a huge detriment. It's like, we cannot let that happen, just for the health of the business. So it's like, I don't know what we're going to do, but start counting. I don't know if but last resort was like, what we don't want to do is a punch card.
Right.
And we don't want to mark people's hands. And we don't want to take, I've been to breweries where they'll actually take your driver's license and put it on a clipboard and mark next to it. And then and I'm like, wow, that is just crazy.
Mm-hmm.
but we don't want to do anything obtrusive like that. It's all about kind of just being comfortable for the customer and easy for us, and so it just became this kind of memorization thing, which seems impossible, but once you learn it and practice it, you just kind of start memorizing which pint everybody's on. Right. So even now that we are able to serve more, they're still doing that. They still know, okay, that's Brandon's third.
Yeah.
Or this, and kind of there's this tourist coming in. They seem very excited, and that's their fourth beer. Okay, well, we're gonna watch that person and just kind of gauge it, and really, they're still counting kind of everything. Well, just to make sure, just as a service, to care for everybody and make sure it's all good.
Right, and they did that when it was 36 ounces, and they've even called me out a couple times.
Yeah.
They're like, hey man, it's like your fourth beer. Are you driving?
Yeah.
Like, no. If it's okay, I'll leave my truck here, but no, Eleanor's driving. I'm not going to be on the road. And they're like, all right, cool. They're very good about it, and I give a lot of credit to you and your crew.
Yeah, we talk about it all the time. More than, we always talked about how to do the 36 thing, but now it's evolved to just now it's just this big gray area and how to kind of handle that. Right. And so it's a constant topic of discussion, and we're working on kind of almost an internal training program of how we do it, so that we can, when new hires come on, then we can kind of train them quickly. Right now, we're still kind of feeling out exactly how we do it, but we're always working on it, trying to make it as effective as possible, and also not effective, but also not harshly cutting people off, let's say, or telling people, I don't think you should have another one, because we just don't want to be we don't want to be at the level of a bar.
Yeah.
Correct.
We want people to be a little tamer, and then if you want to do that, you can go to a bar.
Yeah,
so
sure.
we're trying to find out where that level is, and then maintain it, and then train for how we do that to make it pretty seamless, no matter who's here. So.
Right.
Well, you guys are killing it. So
thank you.
Good job.
Yeah.
So as an entrepreneur, how do you balance staying creative with the realities of payroll, regulations, logistics, running the business? Stuff like
that is very difficult. Because the most kind of worry and stress is just keeping up with deadlines and things like sourcing raw materials, like we talked about, things like that, and but trying to be creative. It really what I've learned is it just requires kind of dedicated time and saying that this is very important, and just dedicating time to creativity. And so whether it's coming up with a new beer, our summer solstice beer, we did a very similar beer the first probably 4 or 5 years we did that, and then I was like, we should just change that summer solstice 2149. We should change that beer style each year and come up with a new creative beer to really just spice that up a little bit. So, but it's hard to kind of sit down and figure that out. So what I've been doing the past few years is really just dedicating time to go like, well, today I'm going to try and figure out what that beer is, and just I'm not going to work on raw materials, payroll, etc., the non-fun stuff. It's kind of fun, but just really like understanding the value of that being creative just in general, and then just dedicating time to just letting your brain work through it, and letting creativity fly, and it doesn't only go with doesn't only apply to beers, but it's also to creativity and how things work around here, and the service we're providing, and the creativity in how we treat our employees, in the way of kind of how we can make this a great place to work, and how we can make benefits of just making it a beneficial piece of their lives, not a thing they have to go to work, but making it just like a great part of our employees' lives is being a great place to work is a real big priority for us. So it just requires just focusing on it, even though it's hard to see the benefit of it immediately. You got to know that it's essential to do that. So it is hard, but So
a lot of your lessons and a lot of your it's all learned in retrospect, right?
Yep.
And so I know a lot of times, a lot of people at a lot of different establishments, whenever an employee leaves, they've always got something bad to say about their experience while they were working there, right? But I often see damn near all of your past employees, they're always back up in here. And so they probably, so this was probably just a stepping stone for them, and they moved on to another part of their career. And so, but they're always coming back.
Yeah.
Right. And they're always, and you see everybody, and they're communicating with each other. And you might see them at Last 65 or Black Spruce, meeting together, or here, getting together. But because there's been a lot of past employees, Jeff will point him. Oh yeah, that's she used to work here. I'm like, oh really? Yes. I'm like, man, I don't remember her. Yeah, she worked here. He worked here like
Jeff remembers everybody.
in 2018 or 2017.
I remember faces, not names.
Yeah.
Unfollow names.
Yeah, so that just goes to show that what type of work environment, you know what I'm saying, you promote.
Yeah,
So,
there's just a natural turnover in kind of the service industry.
yeah,
So
yeah.
most of the, if you work in the tap room, you generally work in the evening, and so that's usually kind of a, you can do that forever, but usually that's kind of some sort of a transitionary job between
true. College courses and
whatever, just
moving on to get
you
your
could do it for
degree,
years for sure, and we have people that do, and it's great.
Yeah.
Because it is an awesome thing if it works with kind of everything else in your life. But yeah, I mean, generally it's just people saying, yeah, I'm gonna do this other thing now.
Yeah.
I hate to quit, and I love this place, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. And
yeah.
then their last day, we all say goodbye, and then we see them an hour later when we open.
Yeah, exactly.
It's on the other side.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because you got a good machine going on here, man. Damn good machine.
Thank you.
Okay, so looking ahead, what excites you the most about the future of HooDoo over the next, say, year or two? I mean, can you divulge any secret plans for us that make you smile when you think about them?
I don't think there's really any secret plans. We're we opened 13 years ago, so we're doing some kind of upgrades and not very exciting stuff, just in the age of the building and things like that. Nothing too crazy is on the horizon. I mean, really, it's just we're kind of maturing in this. The business is kind of maturing in this way that we just have this great base, this great foundation now, which we've always had, but we, each year it kind of continues to kind of solidify, and I feel like it's stable in the way that I'm trying to actually find more time for myself to be more creative in the beer realm, but in all other senses. So I think we've reached, I think as a small business, this is probably pretty normal, but we're getting more confident in hiring great people to help us do great things, where in the past, Jess and I have really, it's hard to relinquish responsibility onto other people. So in the early days, we and a small group of people did absolutely everything. And it just kind of slowly grows to a point, and I think we're at a new point. The last year or two is really saying that this would be much better if we got a great person to just do this whole section of the business, so that we can focus on, steering the ship, and coming up with better opportunities, and really overseeing just keeping the awesomeness where it is. Because, like I said, just because you can doesn't mean you should. So, just trying not to overstep that we feel like we need to be doing something different, and we feel like we need to do. It's like kind of have to just avoid that.
Right.
Just if it feels right, we'll do it. But if not, then just try and retain more or less the status quo of our footprint and our reach and things like that is just really growing internally, and just making things better, but like we've talked about, it's not effing it up. Just keeping it maintaining.
Gotcha.
And I think that's actually hard in business. You're always told you have to grow, you have to do things, and I think you do have to grow in business, but it doesn't mean you need to necessarily get larger or get more, make more beer or more liquid or anything like that. It just means you need to grow internally or grow in little places where you see you could get a little better, or provide another service for the customer, or for your employees, or it's just you always do need to be changing for sure, but doesn't necessarily mean knocking the wall down and putting in another tank or two.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, for someone in Fairbanks who's sitting on a business idea but hasn't taken the leap yet into it, what advice would you give them?
The advice I would give somebody would be to just keep learning, keep pushing forward. Talk to anybody you can about it. Not in the sense of talk to anybody you can that might have some good advice. And there's going to be a lot of people that you talk to that will have varying advice, good or bad, and taking all of them with a grain of salt. Nobody knows exactly what your business would do or how driven you are to make it successful, but it's just to keep going on it and keep just learning as much as you can, learning any aspect you can about that business, about that type of business, working in that type of business or anything that somewhat reflects it, observing that type of business, and just keep going, getting educated if that's attributable to the business, learning financial, how loans work, learning how just books work, the financial books, and learning the regulations of that type of business, tax structures. How do you need a license to operate that specific business? So just learning as much as you can possibly learn, because then at some point you'll be able to, until you make that commitment of signing the loan papers or signing a lease agreement or something, you're really not committed at all. You're just learning. So at some point, before you actually, there's going to be a point where you'll have to kind of take the dive and say, we're doing this. But before that, there's no time wasted. You can always say, I don't think this is going to work, and stop. But the important thing is just to keep going until you can basically prove to yourself that it's not going to work, or it's too risky, or what amount of risk are you able to, because you'll never know if it's going to work unless you keep moving toward that. And then at some point you'll say, I can't do it. I can't sign my name on that line and try and make this business work. I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I'm ready. I'm prepared to put in that time in my life that I'll need to dedicate to this. I'm not sure. I don't know if I'll be able to generate enough revenue to pay that loan or that lease. But you'll only know that if you just keep learning, and then at some point you'll stop for whatever reason, or you'll just keep going. And I think learning as much as you can in every aspect, until you're confident or not. Just keep going. Yeah. I think there's a lot of opportunities out there that really, a lot of it just takes kind of the cojones to keep going forward and just do it. Because a lot of starting a small business is absolutely frightening in a lot of ways. And it's just much easier not to do it most of the time. So, but if you think you can do it, I mean, there's a lot of opportunities. I think there's a lot of opportunities in Fairbanks. We have a very unique community where there is opportunities for small businesses to have an idea and come up with things that could be successful. So, and the worst, what we always said is the worst that could happen is we give it a shot and then it fails, and we just have to, then you move on to selling it all or whatever you got to do. But we will have learned something. We will have said we tried, and so we just kept going, and just one step after the other, years and years go by, and then all of a sudden it's happening, and
Yeah, so I always tell people, you never want to look back at your life and say, I should have, so always take a chance on yourself. Always believe in yourself. You know, because honestly, like you're your best supporter, right? And if you take a chance on yourself, it doesn't matter what the naysayers say, because you're gonna always have people that are naysayers, right?
Always, yeah.
And but you just got to take what they say with a grain of salt, right? Because if you believe in something and you truly believe that this is the path that you're supposed to take, invest in yourself, make it happen. And so, even if it doesn't wind up being successful, at least when you look back at it, you can say to yourself, well, at least I tried.
Yeah, and you'll have learned
gave it
so
my
much.
best.
Yeah, you could try again.
Yeah.
You have to be careful with people that are saying, "Oh, that's the best. That you got to start a brewery. You got to start a brewery. You got to do that.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to kill it. That's going to do it. That's going to." Is those people? Yes, it's great. It's encouraging, but you have to make sure you know.
Yeah. True.
You know not to listen to that.
Yeah.
You need to find out yourself.
Yeah.
And know that it'll work.
Yeah,
To
true.
the best of your possible ability.
True.
So you just kind of have to. You have to get advice everywhere you can, but
Yeah.
you just have to learn for yourself, honestly.
True.
So,
True. Exactly.
It's actually really good advice. I've actually asked that same question to other business owners and friends and family, and they're like, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Kind of like just dive right in. But what you were saying, like, when you just kind of think about it,
Yeah.
and then you get to a point where you have to make that decision. I've never heard it put that way. That was
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah, because I mean, what optimally it will work.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to have a living at this job that you've created. But you only miss, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, but you don't want to just have a total crapshoot and say, well, I got to try.
Exactly.
I'm not feeling very good about this, but I got to do it.
Yeah,
because of that saying or
Yeah,
something.
because Shaquille O'Neal, he sucks at free throws, right? And he took a lot of them. But
if you you just have to learn as much as you can about everything until you're like, yeah, I think we just keep going forward, and then you learn more, try to do different things. I think we just keep going forward, keep going. Yeah, I don't see a reason to stop. Just keep going, because at some point, if you're like, God, wow, you have to pay this much in taxes for that type of business, or there's not licenses available to do that business, because some businesses like this are regulated in that way, then you'll learn that there's, how do we get over that obstacle, and how do we get over that regulation?
yeah,
There's just going to be things that can stop you, and so you want to just basically get to that point of being stopped by yourself or by others. So.
yeah. So Brandon, you have one more question, and then we're gonna.
Oh, I thought you were going to ask that one, but I can.
Yeah, that's on you, man.
Down?
Okay.
I'm going to stand for this one, though. Sorry.
Okay. All right.
Sorry, I cut out a little early. Last question. If we're sitting right here again for our 2-year anniversary, what do you hope that we're celebrating?
Let's see. I'd say I hope we're celebrating a warmer spring,
Yes.
Boom.
Yes.
a winter with just one of those nice cold snow or short cold snaps.
Yeah.
Not a 6-week trip to the moon.
No more
Yeah,
record
right?
breakers.
No more. Let's just go normal for a year.
Because the next record breaker is going to be longer than this.
Yeah.
Than this past one.
Yeah, we don't need
we
another
don't need
record
no more record breakers.
Yeah, I think just celebrating that we're all still sitting right here sounds pretty good.
Got you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Got you. Okay. Good deal. Okay, so on that note, that ends our official portion of the podcast, and so I think we're gonna wrap it up. Because I've only got the table booked until 2, and I don't want to take advantage. I know Mr. Bobby. He's the head
I'm
honcho
a real
here.
stickler on table reservations. Real stickler.
Yeah. So we want to take advantage of him being the guest. The guest today. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap this one up. But on the to end it all, Brandon, go ahead and get the cake situated.
Do you want to review the cake now, or do you want to just give our review on the next one?
Well, no. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna light the candle, but we're gonna bring it over here to the center. I'm gonna cut Bobby's camera off, and so now we are going to the center camera. So let's just rearrange everything here, and bring the cake to the center of the screen here.
That works.
Yeah.
Turn it some.
Oh, okay. So bring it on in. Bring it on in. Just so just bring it to where it's center. Yep. Okay. So as you guys know, today is our we're celebrating our 1-year anniversary of our 36 podcast, and so once again, I want to thank Jeff. I want to thank Brandon, and I want to thank Bobby. All right, for allowing us to occupy this space every 2 weeks. Jeff and Brandon for sticking it out and going along with me on my crazy journey here.
It's been fun.
Yes, it has definitely been fun, and we've learned a lot. We've met a lot of cool people, and let's just keep it rolling, man.
All right. Well, for tradition, we're gonna light the candle and we're gonna have Bobby blow it out.
All right. So are we gonna sing like "Happy Anniversary" or something? Nah, we're just gonna light it and let Bobby blow it out.
Just for tradition.
Okay,
we'll
go
make
ahead.
it official.
Okay, go ahead. Okay, but we're gonna need a photo though. Oh. And so our photographer, Miss Kate, she's in the background, and she's gonna snap our photo. Beer. Yep. Thank you. And so, on that note, guys, it's been a pleasure. Bobby, thank you, sir, once again.
Prost.
Cheers, prost.
And on that note, Fairbanks, North Star Brewery. Oh, before you blow out the candle, for season 2, we've already talked about this. We are going to do we're going to hop from brewery to brewery and do 36 to podcast. We're taking 36 to podcast on the road. So Lat 65, Black Spruce, Silver Gulch. What's the new one?
Humble Roots.
We're coming to your location to interview your owners too, to get their story for season 2. So you guys be on the lookout for that. And on that note, Bobby, please do us the pleasure.
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary, guys. Happy anniversary. And on that note, my name is Tilden.
I'm Jeff.
And I'm Brandon.
And I'm Bobby.
And this was 36 to podcast. It was our anniversary episode. Thank you guys for being a part of this with us for the past year. And we look forward to giving you guys good content for the upcoming year. We are
It's
out.
36
Peace.
podcast. 36.